It's after midnight, and it's time for conversations about love, family, friends, sex, and life. It's Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Donovan West, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome to another episode of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are your hosts, Carol
That's
Riddick
right.
and
Donovan West here. I am so happy to be here. So happy to, have another opportunity to do an amazing episode with you, Carol. And of course, those that are listening, those that are watching, welcome back.
how about that? How about that, family? You know how we do. You know that I like to check on you every now and again, and I like to let you know that we love you. We do, we do, we do. And we love the love that you give to us and that you share with us. As a matter of fact, Donovan, I
Yeah.
ran into one of our family members who
Did
told
you?
me that, yes, I did. She said, wait a minute. I love that show. I said, and we love you for that. I
Amen.
screamed. I did.
I know you did. I
But
just
for
hope
those,
you were it didn't look too crazy wherever you were at.
oh, absolutely, it
Or you were
did.
so oh it did? It was just nice
Absolutely.
and okay. I like that even better.
I mean, listen now, we don't put we don't dumb down love now.
We don't. We don't. We
That's not
don't. We
what
don't
we
it is
do.
it's never watered down. It's never
No.
watered down.
No, and you and I, we both appreciate it so much that I wanted her to know that we do. But I do want to say to our family members whose light may be just a little dim, that we're sending you some love and some light
Lots
and
of love.
some
Lots of love. Amen.
yes. Everybody needs a little extra love every now and again.
Facts. 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 So
Yeah.
listen, I like that. And you know what? The next time someone does the same, I think I'm gonna scream out too. Just well, maybe not. I
No,
think I think
no.
I'm a bit taller, and I
It's,
think it may cause concern if I do that.
you
So
think?
so maybe I'll just kind of give them a like, thank you so much, kind of just and
Just
and maybe just give them a little dap. But just know
yeah.
the love is the same. Inside I'm screaming. Inside I'm screaming.
Family, y'all know what he does. He always clowns me. That's what it is. But
Nah,
you know what? It's all right. It's okay because that's love too. That's love
all
too.
day, all day,
Yes,
all day.
yes. So Donovan, I'm so excited.
I am
I'm always
too.
excited about our guests. Everybody knows that I tell you that I believe that everybody's story is helpful in some way to
I
someone.
agree.
There's a
Yeah,
gem, a pearl, there's something along someone's journey that can be helpful to another individual. That is why we're here. That's why we do this show.
that's right. You know it.
And tonight is no different. Tonight is no different. Family, we want to introduce you to one of our friends, a friend to the show, that is, and a friend, a personal friend, right? Because
That's right. That's right. Me and this guy. Listen, don't get me started because I don't want. I'm just going to keep it chill and we'll just But this guy, stand up guy.
mhm,
One of my like this is my boy. He's
yeah,
good. He's a good dude. Good dude.
yeah.
Renaissance man. But anyway, let me stop. Let me just stop. I just said I was going to stop, right? But there's just a handful of people though that you have to understand. WURD family that they come with it. I'm talking about just
Hmm.
tap into, their gifts in a way that also we can enjoy. We can also, be able to experience.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna leave it
Hmm.
right there. I'm
Okay.
just right there. Boom.
Well, all right. As you leave it
Yeah.
right there, why don't we bring him in so
Let's
our
do
family
that.
members can meet him? Family, welcome to our room, Mr. Herman Davis.
Mm.
Hey there, Herman.
Hey, what's happening?
Well, everything and not enough. How about that?
Mm. Brother Donovan,
Hey,
what's happening?
hey, man, life is happening, and I'm happy to have you here in this space
Yeah,
because you're happening, man.
yeah.
Mm.
We both are. We were talking about potential guests, And I said, I think we should talk with Herman Davis because I think what he's doing is, is powerful. I think it's a great movement. And Donovan said, "Who? Wait, what? That's my guy.
And guess
That's
what?
my dude."
Let me apologize because I was like a kid for a second. I was like, wait, why didn't I think of that first?
No.
I am guilty.
No.
You know why? Because it's the people in your space, right? Like the people in your space, good people. Sometimes it's the hardest to think about. Like I need to reach out to that person in this space often. And I was convicted. So
No, don't be. Well, we're a team.
that's what we do.
No,
I
he should
know.
be convicted, Carol, because I was saying, like, why didn't he call us? No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Listen, this
That's
moment
a real
brought to
friend
you.
right there.
This
I'm
moment
playing.
brought to
Whenever
you
I can
by
get a shot, Carol, I gotta
gotgrace.com.
get it.
Like,
Whenever I can get it, I gotta get it. You know I'm playing, though.
I know that's right. No.
You know I'm playing. I
That
know
was
it's
right
real.
on point.
Yeah,
That's right on point right there. I like that. He's like, nah,
He said,
Carol,
"No,
let him,
no, right."
let that simmer real quick.
It's all right though. It's all right. Well, we tag team though, so it's good. I had him. We good. We good. You're here, and that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So, Herman, again, welcome from the both of us. But we want to let our family members know as much as they can about you. So, I was explaining that at first we like to begin by asking you to let our family members know from where you come.
From where I come. I come from, I'm going to say Mount Airy. And they would say uptown, but that's such a wide changed word today. But I am from Mount Airy, which is the original uptown. Peace and love started because our oldest sister was murdered by her husband back 1985. Our sister was 25 years old at the time, and she had 3 children. She had 2 boys and a girl. And their oldest son, my oldest nephew, he witnessed so much abuse. And because of the abuse that he witnessed, he was able to give a testimony to what he witnessed. And because of his testimony is what got his father a life sentence.
Oh,
Because of his testimony. So 10 years later, my nephew is about 21 years old, and he was arrested for selling weed to college students.
Oh, wow.
And college kids, white college kids, they told, it was him. And, he wound up doing time in jail. But his first month, his first month in prison, he's walking down the corridor, right? Going to the infirmary, which is the nurse. Coming down the corridor from out of the nurse is who? They walking past each other. They see each other in the hallway. They walk past each other. And we from the 80s in Philly, somebody staring at you, you say, "What? Nigga, what you grinting at?" So his dad is like, "No, what you grinting at?" And he's like, "You're my father." He didn't even know who he was.
Wow.
So he fell to his knees. He's going to grab my nephew's legs and apologizing and, trying to talk to him. But, my nephew had no conversation for him at that time. So what he did, his dad was able to put a meeting together with the chaplain. And the chaplain my nephew finally accepted the meeting with his dad. And he had a meeting set up with the chaplain. And his dad, he got to ask his dad, "How did you kill my mom, and why did you kill my mom?" Those are 2 things he wanted to know. Yeah. So, and the why, the how really became from my mother and my father found my sister dead. That's another part of the story nobody really takes heed to, because that was their firstborn child. So they found their firstborn child in the bathtub. So we we always thought that he strangled, he drowned her in the tub, but that's not what happened. We got the actual story of what happened. So, we kind of looked at it like a ordained moment that we were able to find what and why. You know what I mean?
Closure to some
Sure.
extent.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to some extent, absolutely. And not just that, what we do talk about with peace and love is the power of forgiveness, because the power of forgiveness, for me, it was like getting the weight off my chest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I couldn't even talk about my sister's death or anything the way that I can talk about it as freely now.
Well, just
Until I,
real
If
quick,
I
just
if
just
I
just
might
really quickly,
oh, go right
yeah.
ahead.
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
about to say, like, you know what? This is what happens when you talking amongst friends.
yeah.
Like
Mm,
you and I and Carol, we all know what peace and love is.
Mhm.
But for
that's
those
thank
in
you.
the WURD family that are listening, like, wait. First of all, you come in with this amazing, very intimate, right? Very vulnerable story.
Hmm.
And then, but we got to back out of it because that's almost like a teaser to like who Herman Davis and the organization is. Now that we all are hooked, everyone's sitting on the edge of the seat. Tell us
Donovan.
about the organization. No, really, is that?
No, I'm with you. I,
Yeah,
I
that's what
want him to
But
happens.
tell us.
I have to give that part of the story, because that's why we do what we do, or why I do what I do, because of my sister's story. If it wasn't that story, I wouldn't be doing peace and love. If I didn't, so I'd be okay. So for one, I'm Muslim, right? And I took Shahada at 39 years old, and now I'm 50 something, right? So one thing that I learned was that, and like I say, when they went to jail, was when he met his dad, when he seen his father in jail, it was ordained. It was meant to happen, right?
Hmm.
So what I've learned at in my 40s, what I've learned and come to accept that, um, thank God, this is God's plan. It's already written out. It's already written out. My story is
Mhm.
already written out. Your story, your story. Our stories is already written out. God has already written out stories. You understand what I'm saying? So my sister's death was, to me now, it was like it was a sacrifice. My sister's death was like, there's a thing that we say that it was the cutter of a law. The cutter of a law, meaning that it was written. It was already written to happen. My sister's death was already written to happen. So when
Mm.
I view it like that, then if I view it that it was written to happen, then I have to look at the work that I'm doing is because of her death. So I have to tell that part of the story, because I wouldn't be doing it if that didn't happen. You know,
Mm.
you
Makes
understand?
sense. You know, it makes
Those was
sense.
the
It makes sense.
lemons that made this lemonade. You know what I mean?
The sour catalyst. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
So
S-
So what we do, there's a few branches with peace and love, and Donovan has seen them grow differently or not. Don't realize over the years that we've
Hmm.
known each other, because I don't even think we were doing peace and love when I met Donovan. I think I had the club in Manioc. We had Bungalow Southern, right?
Yep.
So okay, so yeah, so peace and love actually started right after Katrina, right?
mm.
Okay.
We had all these clothes that people was dropping off at the club, for Katrina, but for some reason they never got to those people at Katrina. So
Mm.
me and my sister had decided to give the clothes to the shelters here.
Hmm.
And the mayor at the particular time, he was canceling a bunch of stuff, man. He closed libraries, he was closing rec centers, and he had cut the budget at the only the only women's shelter, the same women's shelter that our sister was in back in the 80s.
Wow.
Mm.
He cut that joint like 200,000 or something like that. And me and my sister, we heard it like wherever she was at, wherever I was at, we heard it, like seen it on the news. And then when we got to the club, it was like for our Monday meeting. And it was like, yo, you see what the mayor did? And it was like, yeah. So originally Rochelle, who is actually the one who started Peace and Love, but originally Peace and Love was called Poe, Poe. And Poe was peace on earth.
Mm.
Okay.
Um, and then with Ty Howard, Anthony Howard, who was one of at the time, still is one of the most creative designers that time. Him and my sister came up together with the peace sign and the heart, peace and love. And then what we do with peace and love is we do makeovers for survivors of domestic violence. Um, and we do programs in the schools. We teach life skills to middle school and high school students. The program's called A Better You. And we're finding ourselves going lower in grade. So we're talking to 4th and 6th graders now.
Oh, that's great.
Peace and Love has launched in the HBCUs.
Okay.
So we have a Peace and Love at Spelman, Morehouse, Clark, Howard, Norfolk. We have launched Peace and Love in Ghana,
Wow.
in Africa. We had a student, Reese Botts, who is the one that took Peace and Love to the HBCUs, and she went and studied abroad and took it to Ghana.
Nice.
So we have Peace and Love merchandise, which is why there's 2 websites. So how it was always set up was for the for-profit to support the nonprofit. That was the theory, you know. But here we are, almost 20 years later. Still doing Peace and Love, and still, you know, it's an upstream battle.
I'm curious to know the program, A Better You. Of what does that consist?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for asking. A Better You. Mind you, Miss Carol, I took this program to a school that our friend, Donavan S, he had on Broad Street, because he was like the guy at this particular school. But we'll talk about that one later.
Okay.
All right. But it's a 6-month program, and each month has a different theme. So it starts off with a healthy relationship, which is October, which is Domestic Violence Month. And then it goes into hygiene and etiquettes. And after that, we then go into peer mediation. And all of these have a title. So it starts off with hygiene and etiquettes, and that is I don't have it in front of me. The next one is called it was actually Bully Patrol, because when we started this, like, bullying was the hot topic at that time. It was like a Bully Patrol. So what the Bully Patrol would do is they would de-escalate, you know, arguments. No, they would. That's why peer mediation was the main thing.
Understood.
The next month is called YOLO. So YOLO at the time was like the big thing, you know, you only live once. So what they have to do for this month, they get an imaginary budget of $25,000. So with that money, they get a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet will have everything on there. They have to throw an event. They have a venue, DJ, caterer, everything to give an event. They have all that on there. So
I love that.
They have to show how much it costs, how much money they spent. They have to purchase their outfit. They have to get to their party. So they have to rent a car or get a limousine, whatever. They have to do everything. That's the first 2 weeks of the project. And the next part, 2 weeks of the project, they have to write their obituary. So if you're on YOLO, how are everybody going to remember you? What are they going to know about you? And the kids will be like, "Oh, Mr. Davis, I'm only 14." Well, clearly today we see them dying they're getting murdered at 9 on up. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. So how are people going to remember you? So that's just to get them to kind of think of, like, you know, their behavior, you know, when they're on the bus or whatever. You know, I said, because you could be on the bus and you never know that person that you were on the bus with is going to be interviewing you 2 months later. And they're like, "Oh, I remember you." So the next theme is again, this is when we just had a black president. So the topic is the evolution of the black man. So, now we have a black president, but just 60 years ago, the best job for a black man was being like a porter on a train. You know what I mean? That was a good job, being a porter on a train. So have we really evolved, and black men are getting murdered at a highest rate and no one's going to jail, but we have a black president? So it's just in that mindset of just, it was more so that more so was about parenting, you know, because the girls will always have a problem. Why is it a black man? Well, aren't you women raising the boys by yourself? So it was really about parenting and making sure, you know, how that is being grown and just leaving a legacy, you know what I mean? Leaving a mark.
Familial dynamic. Yeah, that's important.
And then the next program is called Hustle and Flow. So Hustle and Flow came from the kids nobody wants to go to college. You know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Oh, so you think it's easy being an entrepreneur? Okay. You do know being an entrepreneur, you do not have sick time, vacation time. You do know these things don't come with being an entrepreneur. So we go over that. So we look at going to college, you know, because you don't have to, because Mr. Davis isn't pro college, And my daughter went to a HBCU, Johnson C. Smith, you know. So, but my thing is that college is a business, and if you're going to get into that business game, go in it getting scholarships. Go in it. It's just getting them thinking about college in a different perspective. And there is one university that we know of that actually offers the entrepreneur program. And you know, when you go to school, this is the cheap. So as a father, this is the cheap thing. This is the cheating thing that the student. What are you going to go to school for? Oh, business. Oh, you're going to go to business. You know what I mean? So business is the easy thing. Oh, business. Yeah, my daughter went to school for business. Oh, all right, business. All right. So,
hey, Herman, just as you were talking about business, we need to handle our business right now, and we need to take a commercial break. So when we come back, people, we're going to be talking with Herman Davis some more about peace and love. And right now, we just need you to just hold on. There's more right after this.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things will never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk, they hear you.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We've been talking with none other than Herman Davis about his endeavors, which we're all in agreement that are absolutely amazing. What he did mention before the break was about some programs that the organizations have that sound amazing to me. And he also briefly mentioned the website. But if you don't mind, Herman, can you go back and repeat the website so that we might share that with our family members who didn't catch it?
Sure. The website is www.peaceloveworldwide.org.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Hey,
that's
listen,
why we're here.
It really is my website.
Herman, you're in a safe space. It's okay.
It really
It's okay.
is my website. I know these people. I do know these people.
It's okay.
I didn't know which website to say first because there's two. The for-profit website is weneedpeaceandlove.com, and then the non-profit website is peaceworldwide.com. .org.
WURD family. We can vouch for Herman Davis. This is real. All right. Just if you're wondering about whether or not you should send checks or anything, no, everything's legit. Okay. Okay. Just letting y'all know. Okay. We gotta land this plane.
So peaceloveworldwide.org. As you see, my co-host here, my personal co-host here is getting herself all.
That's cool.
That's all right. That's what we do here. Since COVID, we've been listening a whole lot more to our fur babies in the background, right? Like that's just a way of life now. That's all good.
Yeah, she likes to make her presence known.
And I'm actually glad that happened because you'll see my cat come across the screen in a minute. You will.
I love it.
So disrespectful.
I love it. That's love. That's nothing but love. I love it. I love it. Donovan clowns me, but I love it. I love it. So, I've been noticing the artwork that is behind it. Before we continue, because I want you to continue talking about everything that you all do. I'm going to be quiet in a minute, so you can share with us about the artwork that I'm looking at, because I see this V and it looks so nice. What is
so
that
the art
behind you?
That is actually a piece that the students at Randolph High School did. So with doing the programs, we do art with the students because we encourage using art as a form of therapy. And like I told Carol when I met her at the Roots picnic that there is a song that she has. So as we're asking people to use or suggesting that people use art as a form of therapy, I wasn't doing it. So I began to start painting and drawing, and I have a couple pieces that I did. So this is just all about encouraging everyone to use art as a form of therapy. Art has different looks. It could be poetry, it could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be singing, it could be dancing. It doesn't have to be something with a paintbrush and markers and anything. So.
I like that. And what song was this, Herman? That you were talking about with Carol.
Carol's song?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. It's like I have a whole playlist. Like that's another show. I would like.
It's a whole show.
I was going to ask y'all if we could do another show on like the different pieces of peace and love. And I wanted to share the benefit from it because I can speak from it personally.
Okay.
So, like the art and then my songs, I kind of like don't give them up until like it's story time. Like you'll like it. It's gonna be dope.
So you want the proper time to provide the proper context for how you arrived at that song.
Yeah, some shit happen when you turn 50, dog. Like you just want to do things a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I hear you loud and clear. And we're gonna
saying.
And you know what? It's a good time that this is, that we have nighttime programming.
Yeah.
That's so for WURD family. You wonder why you listen? You listen because we talk about different things at different times in the day and
I
We
love
do.
it.
right. So there it is. Boom. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to create the space so that we can get the proper context for that. Because when I asked you the question, notice the body language. Head tilted. He started
Shifted.
swaying just a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I'm just letting you know for those
It's
who are able to
intimate.
watch. All right.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
intimate. And not in that kind of, not in a negative kind of way. And that's another thing. That's another word. Like over time, there's a few words that I've gotten to look at differently. Intimacy is one of them. So I was saying it to my homeboy. I'm like, yo, man, we got to get to know each other more intimate. He like, nigga, what? And I'm like, no, man. Meaning that I can cry in front of you, can cry in front of me. Like you could be comfortable. Like you could be,
Right.
it could be authentic like that. And us dudes, we not like that. And then I'm not like that with a lot of people. So I've grown to be kind of like, I don't know if you want to say boundaries or just be more conscious of certain things that's special to me. So I don't mean that in a goofy kind of way. I mean it in just a personal kind of way.
I appreciate
if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of
all
sense.
the sense in the world. Yeah, I appreciate that because I constantly say, as adults, we don't communicate effectively.
No,
we don't adult properly. We
don't.
No, we don't. So I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you sharing that. Like a simple word like intimate.
Yeah.
We don't. When we are like processing that, we immediately go to one place.
I
As
totally
if it
agree
doesn't,
with you.
yeah, and I don't like that at all.
And it's one thing that we talk about, that Carol and I talk about here in this space. We want intimate conversations.
We do.
We want intimate we want transparency. We want you to be more vulnerable in this space. So I'm happy that you said that. And also, you know me, Herman, when I'm talking about relationships and navigating those things, I always talk all day about how intimacy is not sex. It can be a form of intimacy. It can be, but in many ways, it can actually be very transactional and just physical. But when you get into what a person's beliefs are, their fears, their challenges, right? The things that they may struggle with, or the things that actually make them erupt in terms of from emotion. Now that's a different space. That's very intimate because how many people are going to be able to get to that in terms of that part of you? That's the most intimate part, as opposed to you can just be feeling some kind of way today and make a call or a text or whatever, and it can be a situation from an intimacy standpoint. No, it takes a lot more for you to tap into that part of you. So I'm glad that you brought that up during our conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Just because I'll share that song and it could open up other stuff, and let's just stay to this because I would love to talk about all of the songs that I have on my playlist that I was listening to while painting. You know what I mean? Because they all have a different meaning to them to me. You know what I mean? And so I she dance. God, this girl, her mother and I are friends. She dances like a different person. Like she steps outside of herself and she performs. And I was asking her if her friends or her school or whatever could do a recital to the songs that I have. And I thought that
wow. Okay.
So like that, the artwork. You know what I mean? I thought that would be dope. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I do want to ask, so you mentioned Peace and Love. The two websites that you were telling us about. So we talked about peaceloveworldwide.org. And you told us about weneedpeaceandlove.com. And you said which one of the two is the nonprofit?
The org.
Okay. So peaceloveworldwide.org is the nonprofit. So weneedpeaceandlove.com Can you talk to us about that so that I want
Sure.
everybody to be well versed?
Yeah, that's where they can.
Yeah.
That's where people can get Peace and Love merchandise. You can get Peace and Love T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats. You know, you can get Peace and Love
Swag.
Yeah.
Nice. That's where you can support.
Correct.
Because that's support. Yeah,
Correct.
That's where you can support the efforts.
Correct.
I want to make I want to put emphasis on that. Not just that we're getting, wonderful merchandise, but it's about supporting too.
Well, that's why I also threw in the swag part, because not too many people's, merch look good. You can support an organization. No, I'm just going to keep it real, right? You support an organization, you may buy that shirt or that hoodie or that thing, and you're like, cool, and then it becomes a gift to someone else because you don't want it. Yeah, I said that.
Is that what you did with my merch?
No. I didn't do that with your merch. I actually like your merch. I was just concerned about the size. Remember, I was like, listen, I can't be out here with a medium.
I told you I got you.
I know, but I just don't need to.
I got
listen,
you.
I just don't need to be out here nipples popping because the shirt is just that tight. I'm just keeping it a
Ain't nobody putting you out there like this. See, this is what he does to me, Herman. This is what he does to me. You
do not come for me right now. You
Herman,
do not. Okay, listen.
This is what he does to me.
I get
This
it.
is what he does.
I
told him I had him. I told him, I said, I got you. You tell me what you need and I got you. And this is what he does. He never told me what he needed.
The plight of a giant. Okay, I'm a giant. Okay, so I get
it.
But
we're talking about Herman and his.
We efforts. Are talking about Herman. It's so dumb. But what I like, good people that are listening, is that it's beautiful, it's vibrant, it's colorful, it's and it's fashion forward too. So I'm just putting some more, giving you some more props, because the reality is, like you said, is art is an expression, but also when you're wearing the art, it's a form of expression too. So please support.
Please. And you know what? I want to say too, what I really, really, really love about your logo. I love the peace sign and the heart at the bottom of it. I love how the two are integrated. I love that. I mean, it's for me, because visuals mean so much to all of us, but it speaks so well. It translates so well, and universally. So I just wanted to add that.
I appreciate that. I thank you for that. But again, this journey, as some people have a problem with me saying this, but this journey as an entrepreneur, that nice logo, Old Navy took our logo. We're trademarked. So when it comes to the business side, there's so many pieces to this. Love, everything that we do, and a lot of people don't understand. So when you were saying that, people, talk about you, people get to know who you are, blah blah blah. Like, it's a lot. Like, y'all really need 2 hours with me. Like, there's a lot I would love to share. Just the journey on being an entrepreneur in Philadelphia. You know what I mean?
That is real talk.
That's another topic.
That is real talk.
That's a whole nother conversation. Being a father, right? Being a nonprofit, doing programs in the schools. You know what I mean? I don't have a degree. I didn't go to any of these HBCUs that we're in. You know what I mean? So that's a challenge. You know what I mean?
It's commendable as well.
Yes, you take a lead stomach for this stuff. Donovan, he has one. Takes a lead stomach to do this work. And I was married for 20 years. We were together for 25 years. Divorced after 20 years. It's so many pieces. You know what I mean? So when we talking about love, I'm like, oh shit, what kind of love they want to talk about? They want to talk about like,
Herman
is deep. You know what I mean? Because Donovan, if he doesn't know, he should know that. And we've had quite a few intimate conversations, Donovan and I both, about this city that we're in, and what's the word? Navigating in this city that we're in. So that was the other part. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta watch my mouth, be how I say, but when you said, Herman, this is a safe space, and, it comes on at 12 o'clock and they might be sleep.
No, but we want them to be woke right now. except
Like,
for our, the boss.
Yeah, we are.
I was talking about just the negative energy might be sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people take things the wrong way. You know what I mean? So I don't have to be like, yo, I heard you said, yeah, I said, I gotta explain what I said, and you know what I mean? All of that. I mean, at the end of the day, you know the city that we're in, and more importantly, the times that we're in. You know what I mean? The culture. Because we're a culture. Freaking hip hop culture. We are a culture. You know what I mean? Period. And we have some of us have norms. There are things that we do normally, and you come to learn that like, damn, they mom like that, they all like that, and just certain things that I've come to learn about life, even with health issues. Somebody be like, oh man, my family suffered from this. Well, nigga, you eat like your mother ate. So yeah, you're going to have those same ills if you eat the same thing that they ate. So then you have to ask yourself, is it in your family DNA, or you just have the same bad eating habits that give the same results?
Herman,
You know what?
you just
I'm
not
going
said
to
something. Go ahead.
exactly. If you
Are you
don't
gonna
mind, because what we're going to do right now, we're going to go to
Take
another
another
break. But
commercial?
family, yes, but family, if you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Stay with us though, because we will be right back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score. So I'm pre-approved. You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad? Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same, don't be scared of the world. I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
family. I'm Carol Riddick.
And I'm Donavan West. And we're the hosts of Love and Life, a new show about,
well, love and life.
This show is an informative, entertaining, and refreshing take on the hard conversations about love and life.
Each day, we'll provide real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual, and committed relationships.
These late night conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness.
So join us Sunday night through Thursday night at midnight on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Independent Black Media.
Good people. You're listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. And you already know who we're talking to, but just in case you forgot what his name is and what game he's in, his name is Herman Davis. He's a philanthropist in one space. He's an entrepreneur in another, but he's always moving in both. Thanks again, Herman, for this introduction, if you will, because we will be having you back. But thanks so much for what you've been sharing with us thus far. Carol and I have been, taking notes. If you wonder, if you're watching the video and you see Carol, look to her right corner, that's because she's writing down her notes. That's what she does. She takes copious notes. Okay, just letting y'all know, there's nothing wrong with her neck. She doesn't have a pinched nerve or anything. She's just writing notes, y'all. Okay,
I am.
Got to stop this in our community, starting these rumors, y'all. Okay, everything's fine. You're not going to see that when she's performing. Everything's going to be fine. All right. Continue.
I sure am. They know, because then they hear me come back. So I have a question. So I was thinking, and based upon what you said, I was wondering,
In other words, Carol's always in the studio. She's just writing more bars. She's just like, look, wait, I think I got something for that. Anyway, just move right along. So Herman, listen, congratulations, by the way, because as you mentioned earlier, navigating this space, operating in the nonprofit space, and then of course needing to create another vehicle to help support that, right? Because the operations line of running a nonprofit is the line that suffers most. Because even if you are successful in terms of these contracts, they're very restrictive, and so you still got to find the money from somewhere so that you can continue to do the great work. So congratulations on that. As you are now entering or closing in on 20 years, what are some of the things from a cultural standpoint or even an industry standpoint that you think we need to do or address as it relates to what you're doing in these schools, and both from, as I heard, as early as 4th grade all the way through college?
What do we need to do?
Yeah, what do we need to modify? How do we need to adjust in terms of not just programming, but how we're just moving in this space? What are the things you think we need to do? You're ushering in a lot of great information and resources and programs, and the spectrum of youth, of minds that you're exposed to and that you're impacting is also great as well. But where do you see the gap in terms of what it is versus what you're doing? What's that thing that we need to be more conscious of collectively as we're looking at it from your lens?
It's a loaded question, bro.
Hey, bro, you listen.
That's why we're here.
I thought I'd just give you one. That's it. There's one Joan,
So I mean, honestly, we need to get rid of everything and start all over. I mean, I would go back to the days of Constant Clayton. Whatever she was doing back in them days, we need to do it back then. I'm my 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I mean, I graduated in '88, so I went to school when there was a bunch of snow on the ground, and you know what I mean. I went to school when we had to go to school with bread bags over our feet because it was so much snow. You know what I mean, bro? You had to go to school. You was getting to school and you was coming out and you was shaking off, and you know what I mean? And then you was going to class. You know what I mean? So I just think that I think we're disconnected. Even we were doing programs with the 8th graders at a school in Germantown. And I'm going in as a contractor, so I think it's just a disconnection because I'm going in as a contractor. They wouldn't allow me to interact with the parents. I'm like, yo, I need the parents' contact information. Oh, Mr. Davis, we gotta go through XYZ, and that just was stupid to me. So I just think that I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot of there's 3 words that I'm realizing that we look at the meaning of the words differently, and that's integrity, morals, and ethics. And I think we need to get a clear understanding of those words and institute that in our schools, at least in our schools. Yeah, it started at home, and yeah, we could blame it started at home, but the kids in school 8 hours. They with the teachers and in the schools longer than they're with their parents. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it. That's the reality. We're all responsible. So like, I'm in these schools, but I don't have no kids in these schools. My kids is grown. And when my kids was of age, my kids went to Abington Friends, and my other daughter was in a different school. They wasn't even in these schools. So it's not about. These are all of our kids. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of friends that be like, man, Herm, I don't care about these young people. Man, they crazy, these young people. But guess what? 20 years, they going to be responsible for us in 20 years. We're going to be like, we have to invest. It's literally investing in ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Working with these young people and then, D, you got a daughter. Guess what? One of these jokers gonna want to go home and bring your daughter. They're gonna want to be with our daughters.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to invest in these young men and help them to be better and stronger, because what? Who's gonna be the other half to my daughter? Yeah. I have granddaughters. You know what I mean? So this is serious. It's like, what are we really setting up for them? And is deeper than wealth and all of that. Just simple conversation. A lot of these young people just lack comfortable conversations, man. We as men, we lack it. So just imagine as the young people today, what they dealing with today. So I just think it needs to be restart all over, education, everything, bro. It just I just think that take a week off, right? So the teachers, they have professional development days, right? How about take a week of professional development with your students and their parents? I bet you test scores and everything may go up. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They may look at life, education, everything different if you just take a minute to soak in some of the pain and just deal with it and address it. And it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. I don't know how these kids honestly are going to school and functioning, to be honest with you, bro. I really don't. I think it's a lot of us asking of them today.
Agreed. Yeah. Everything you said, that last response, said everything. But family, it is about that time. As we begin to wrap up tonight's episode, Donovan and I, we want to thank you just for continuously supporting Love and Life right here on WURD. Herman, we can't thank you enough for obliging, for spending some time with us, for spending your time, your energy, your attention, your knowledge, with us. And we definitely want you to come back so we can talk about a lot more things.
Yeah, it's a lot to talk about.
And we're going to share with you your website a little bit later, right after the show. We're going to share. Yeah.
No, you didn't hear
me. Not.
You are. That was so mean. He said he's going to share your website with you, Herman. He's horrible.
I heard him.
I heard him.
I love you, Herman. That's my guy.
Donavan.
I love you, man.
All right, well,
Family.
love you too, bro. All
Listen,
right.
family, you guys have a great
Slap and a
night.
kiss. Slap and a kiss.
A great morning and a great rest of your day. As we always say, remember, we're all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. And make sure you join us at midnight, Sunday through Thursday, for another edition of Love and Life on WURD.
Peace.
Peace.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food, marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation, while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food History and Culture, every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Oh,
hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still has to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, Well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still has to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.